Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you're watching this. I am OSG and today I am running you through what might be one of the best budget performers of the year already. I might have to call it from this early. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the performance review on the Way of Wade Shadow 7. Before we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to Way of Wade for actually sending me over a pair of these to try out. These have been gorgeous. If you do want to pick up a pair, then the link will be in my description box below. So click that link. My discount code will also be there so you can get a cheeky discount off of the price of these. And these are already a budget shoe. So if you get the discount on top of that, then these become so much value for money. So if you did want to pick these up, click the link in my description box below. Use my discount code, pick them up, you won't regret it. So starting off with the aesthetics here for the Wade Shadow 7, I actually really like the way these look. They look quite sleek, specifically in this sunrise colorway. I think personally, the sunrise colorway for any of the Way of Wade shoes is the best one that they've done. It looks gorgeous. It's giving that sort of Miami Vice sort of vibe as well. I really love this colorway specifically, but even just the overall shape of the Wade Shadow 7, I like. It's simple yet effective. It doesn't do too much, but also it gives you that nice little aerodynamic look, which I'm a fan of. And this colorway's got some really nice things as well in terms of like the heel counter at the back. It's got this nice little iridescent look as well, and there are a few bits of piping across the shoe that are 3M, so once you hold a flash to them, they will spark up just a little bit. And also for this colorway in particular, I also am a fan of how they've integrated the Way of Wade logo and the Leaning logo. They've done it so it's not super prominent, but it's still quite clear. So obviously you can see the Way of Wade logo on the side of the shoe, but it's not super prominent. It's not taking up the entire side of the shoe. There is it on the heel counter as well, but they've integrated it really well into the shoe. But as always, we know what we are here for. So we are starting off with the traction. So for the traction here on the Wade Shadow 7, we have a range of different traction patterns actually, which is kind of cool, and they all integrate together really well. So from the forefoot down towards the midfoot, we have these nodes that are connected together to make W shapes, which is actually pretty cool. Each node is also essentially micro gritted, so it's got mini lines on each node to make sure that each node will move separately, but then each subsection of each node will also move separately. So they've done that really well to make sure that they can grab as much traction as possible on the floor wherever you are. Then from the midfoot down towards the rear foot, we have a radial traction pattern that starts within the heel and radiates out towards the midfoot and also back towards the heel. From there, we also have a nice radial pattern that carries on after that. W pattern also breaks it up, but then there are less lines and less gaps in between that little part of the heel, essentially just to grab that bit of traction whenever you are landing on your heel. We do have some rubber that comes up on the side as well. So that's less for shifty movements and more just for caging when it comes to the cushioning, which we'll talk about. But we do have some rubber that comes up on the side, so you won't be completely scuffing any sort of foam, and you will still have a bit of traction if you are doing those shifty movements. In terms of how they perform, gorgeous, in a word. Gorgeous. Genuinely, there was a gym that I was at that was super dusty. You would have seen the clips, and I brought a different shoe with me to that gym. I started off in that shoe and it just wasn't grabbing the traction the way I needed it to. So I switched into these, and these were basically perfect on that court and on that floor, which was super dusty. And I've brought it onto different gym floors since then, and they've held up so well. The traction does really well. It does pick up a slight bit of dust, but the dust you see on the outsole right now doesn't affect it. And even if it does affect it, it's a very slight wipe, very easy wipe, and you've got a good set of hard stops, and you don't really have to think about the traction on this shoe, which is why I really like it. When you've got a shoe that you can just put on and go hoop without having to worry about certain things on the shoe, that's always a good sign. So for this particular part of the shoe, the traction on the Wade Shadow 7, I'm going to put it in S tier. I will. I think this could end up being one of the best traction setups of 2026. And I know it's early, I promise, I know it's early. But Way of Wade, you lot do your thing when it comes to performance and shoes, and specifically with the traction. And this one also shocked me because it's actual rubber. It's not GCU or anything like that, which we know is really good when it comes to traction performance. But this is rubber and this is S tier. Very good job. Moving on to the cushion here on the Wade Shadow 7, we have a dual density setup, which is very unique to Way of Wade in terms of what they're giving us in their budget shoe. So we've got full length boom with a light foam ultra carrier essentially around it. And the reason why I say it's very unique to Way of Wade in terms of what they're giving us is this shoe costs $99. In the UK, it probably ends up being like £90, 80 something pounds. So for that cheap of a price, we're getting what was the flagship cushioning for Way of Wade for many years. And they've now put that in one of their cheapest shoes, but they've also got it full length. And not only have they got it full length, they've also got a light foam ultra carrier. So they've given us a dual density setup, which realistically is unheard of when you have shoes of this price. So they're giving us really, really good technology at a very good price, which I'm grateful for. In terms of how it performs, it's super balanced is what I'll say. The full length boom offers you that wonderful sort of underfoot cushioning where it just feels super smooth. It's got good impact protection. It's not got the best court feel. There are definitely shoes out there that have better court feel than this, but the trade-off is you've got super comfortable cushioning underfoot. I don't really have any foot pain when it comes to the cushioning in these specifically, which I know is a good indicator for me of whether or not the cushioning does a good job at impact protection. So it's got good impact protection. It's got good responsiveness as well. Like, you feel quick in these. The shoe itself is actually relatively light, but the cushioning really helps you feel quick in these. So it does a really good job overall. And like I said earlier, it's very balanced. It does quite a few things well, certain things better than others of course, but it does quite a few things well when it comes to the cushioning setup. So for me overall, I can put this cushioning setup in the A tier. I think it does really well at a lot of things, and that's kind of what you need from a cushioning setup as well. So I would put the cushioning in A tier for this shoe. Moving on to the fit for the Shadow 7, I would recommend most people go up a half size. I normally like my shoes snug. You guys would have heard in my Jar 3 review, in my Kobe 6 review. If you haven't watched those, go and watch those. They're on the channel now. But you guys would have heard I normally like my shoes to fit snug. These, these ones were snug. And I got these in my true size because I was like, I at least want to try them out in my true size because I'm sure the materials are good enough to where they will break in. And don't get me wrong, they did. And they break in quite well. However, for the most part, go up a half size. For many people, narrow footers, you're okay going true to size because these will fit you well if you're a narrow footer. Regular, medium feet people like myself, go up a half size, you're laughing. Wide footers, I'd say if you're a regular to wide footer, you can stay a half size up and you'll be fine. If you're a wide footer, go up a full size on these. Definitely go up a full size on these if you want a bit of breathing room, specifically in the toe. As you can see, when it comes to the toe box, it tapers off quite heavily, so you can feel that pressure in the toe. So I'd say if you're a super wide footer, go up a full size. Regular, go up a half size. Narrow feet, you can go true to size on that. So because of the adjustments that you'd have to make in terms of going up a half size and things of that nature, I have to put the fit for these in the B tier. But the fit isn't bad, it's just when it comes to breaking the shoe in and making sure that you've got the right fit, you kind of just want to go true to size when it comes to fit. So moving forward, that's obviously what I'm going to do. If you have to accommodate or move or flex when it comes to the fit, then that will obviously knock it down a bit. But if it gets made up in different areas, then I'll adjust to that. But for these, fit will be in the B tier. So for the materials here on the Shadow 7, they are very well thought through. That's what I will say. They're very, very well thought through by the Way of Wade team in terms of how different materials have been implemented in different areas of the shoe and how that really works together. So to break it down, main build, mesh. But the main build here in the midfoot is much more of a tightly woven mesh and more of a heavy duty mesh in comparison to something like the forefoot here. So we've got mesh here on both the medial and the lateral side of the shoe, and it does really well in terms of containing your foot in, which we'll talk about when it comes to lockdown. But there's that mesh build there in the midfoot. In the forefoot, we've also got that mesh, but then that mesh is a lot lighter, so it adds a bit more breathability when it comes to the shoe as well. We have an ultra shell overlay here on the toe, which I'm sure is just like a sample piece to say that the rest of it is also that ultra shell. So we've got that ultra shell, which is essentially like a skin fuse overlay over the tip of the toe, over to that lateral side, over the lace eyelets as well. So there's that skin fuse ultra shell technology across there. On the medial side, we also have this, I guess, sort of felt feeling overlay as well, coming over the medial side and over those eyelets on the medial side as well. The heel counter at the back is a TPU one, quite hard, does the job pretty well. There's a lot of padding in the inside of the ankle as well, which is super comfortable. The tongue is super breathable as well. It's a mesh one, like that is very well gusseted, so it's attached to the footbed, but it still gives the tongue room and flexibility to move around. And then they've also got more padding at the top of the tongue, so that helps when it comes to the lace pressure that you put when you're cranking the shoes down as well. So overall, the materials, like I said, are really well thought out, and there's lots of different layers when it comes down to it. In terms of how they perform, overall, I would say they perform well. However, my one gripe is that when the traction is this good and you come to a hard stop on the floor, you end up crashing into the material somehow, some way. And for me, that is quite uncomfortable. So it took a while to break in, and even now, as I'm talking, it probably hasn't fully broken in yet, but where I would do a hard stop on the floor, my foot would like crash into the side of the shoe, and I would feel discomfort in my toe area when it came to doing those hard stops. So that was really annoying to deal with as well. I'm not actually sure what they need to do in order to fix that. I think maybe it's to do with the overall sturdiness of the materials. But again, when you're dealing with a shoe that's $90, I completely understand. There has to be some trade-offs when it comes to what you're putting into the shoe. And when you've got such great traction and such good cushion, there will be other things in the shoe that take a hit. So for the materials, I will put materials in terms of performance in the B tier. I really like the way they've implemented lots of different things throughout the shoe. So I'd normally put that a lot higher, but when it comes to the performance and dealing with that discomfort in the toe area, I would say that this stays in the B tier. For the lockdown here on the Wade Shadow 7, I can comfortably put this in a higher tier, definitely, because there's a lot of good things here that help with the lockdown. Once you get the right fit, obviously that helps with the lockdown, but like I mentioned earlier, that heel padding really helps lock your foot in, really pads you around your Achilles as well, which is super, super comfortable. The tongue and the gusset on the tongue really help in terms of that lockdown, making sure the tongue doesn't move too much. The laces specifically on this colorway, and Way of Wade do this thing where it depends on colorway to colorway, but hopefully for the Shadow 7, it's across all of the colorways. We have this like bobbled sort of design when it comes to the laces. I hope you guys can see it, to where when you pull the laces through the lace eyelets, sometimes when it comes to certain other shoes, you can pull the laces, but then they get slack because the laces just kind of fall back through. With these, once you pull it through, you're kind of pulling each bead through, so it will hold there because there's more tension there, because as you're pulling it through, it goes skinny, but then it will go fat again once it's through the lace eyelet and through that lace loop. So it holds that tension there in place. So when it comes to you figuring out what sort of pressure you want, whether you like it a bit looser or like it a lot tighter, you can do that and trust that this shoe will keep you there and keep you locked in. So that's a really, really good benefit of that. The heel counter also keeps you locked in quite well. Internal and external heel counter to keep you locked in there. It's also got a really wide base, so when it comes to the stability, that's super, super helpful. And it's got a wide rear foot as well. So when it comes to those awkward heel landings, you're covered there. The wide base, the lateral outrigger here will also keep you covered and keep you stable on those movements as well. So overall, I can put lockdown in the A tier for this shoe. I've really, really enjoyed it. I think it's done really, really well in terms of locking me down, and will do you well as well if you decide to pick these up. So wrapping things up here for the performance review of the Wade Shadow 7. overall, I would put this shoe in the A tier. I think it sits comfortably within the A tier. Maybe on the lower end of the A tier, but I think it's still in the A tier regardless. It does a very, very good job at a lot of things. Yes, like I mentioned, there will be certain trade-offs when it comes to certain things like the materials, whatever the case may be. But overall, this shoe is very, very good. And I think it will be one of the best budget performers of the year. So like I said, if you are looking to pick these up, there is a link in my description box, so you can click that link, use my discount code, pick these up. You're welcome in advance. I think you'll genuinely enjoy these. As long as you get the right fit, like I said, most people go up a half size. As long as you get the right fit, you will be golden in these. They've got some really, really cool colorways of these as well. Like, they're releasing some mismatched colorways. There's like a cotton candy, light blue and light pink one that's out as well. That's pretty nice. So they have some really cool colorways of this shoe. So I would say tap into this for sure. It's a very, very good cop, and I think it's definitely worth the money. So that about wraps things up for the performance review here on the Way of Wade Shadow 7. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. I'm very excited to keep making some YouTube videos for you guys. I'm really, really loving the support. I'm seeing you guys' comments, I'm seeing you guys' interaction, seeing you guys' engagement, and it's really, really fueling me to make sure I sit in this chair and do my little yap sesh for you guys when it comes to the performance of basketball shoes. So if you are enjoying videos like this one, if you liked this one, please like the video. It really, really helps me out, helps my engagement out, it helps push my video up further in the algorithm. So if you are enjoying this video, please like the video. Secondly, comment down below what you think of the Way of Wade Shadow 7. Have you got a pair yourself? Have you played in them? Have you just ordered it and you're figuring out what the performance will look like? Are you considering it and you're figuring out what the performance will look like and you want to buy it? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this colorway. Let me know what you think about the materials. Let me know what you think in general. Let me know, comment down below. And last but not least, if you are enjoying videos like this and you've gone to my channel and you've seen some other ones, please consider subscribing to the channel. Those subscribers really, really help in terms of, again, pushing my account a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. So please subscribe. There's lots more videos coming, lots more performance reviews coming. I've got some really nice shoes in already. I've got some really new ones and nice ones coming in that I can't wait to break down for you guys. And if you guys want me to review anything in particular, just let me know in the comment section as well. Thanks so much for watching this review. I've been OSG. This has been the Wade Shadow 7, and I'll catch you in the next one.